Agenda 2063, and in particular, the Africa Resource Mobilization Strategy, which has been developed by the Commission. Your Excellencies, in all our endeavors to implement this important roadmap, we should never lose sight of the fact that the Agenda 2063 is a people's agenda. It is owned by and belongs to the people of Africa. The popularization of this blueprint at the continental, regional, and national levels is therefore of paramount importance and a responsibility for us all. Equally important is the task of domesticating the plan, ensuring that its synergization and synchronization with our national and regional plans takes place. I am happy to note that many of our countries working together with the Commission have already taken significant steps in this regard. Your Excellencies, you will recall that our Assembly took a principled decision to progressively meet from our own resources the bulk of our budget in order to ensure and safeguard the ownership of the African agenda and processes by Africans. To this end, we decided that by the end of the next 5 years, beginning in 2016, we must meet 100% of our operations budget, 75% of our programs budget, and 25% of the peace and security budget. The implementation of this important decision would be a clear demonstration of our will and commitment to our organization. The African Union, of our organization, the African Union, and will enable Africa to occupy its rightful place in the community of nations. While we acknowledge and are indeed grateful for this assistance received from our partners, this must only complement our efforts, our own efforts. It is therefore imperative that we prioritize and pay our member state subscriptions timeously. Your Excellencies, in these past months, we have witnessed the plummeting of the prices of primary commodities and the concomitant slowdown in the growth and development of our economies. This has negatively impacted on our capacity to eradicate poverty, create employment, particularly for our youths, as well as improving the livelihoods of our peoples. We therefore must not spare any effort to push for the industrialization of our countries and regions, with value addition and beneficiation at the core. The implementation of the African industrialization strategy should be prioritized. Your Excellencies, the past year has also witnessed enhanced cooperation between Africa and its strategic partners. In this regard, The third Africa-India Summit and the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC, were successfully convened in India and South Africa, respectively. These partnerships fora serve as important platforms to advance our development agenda and to further strengthen our international strategic partnerships with a view to ensuring mutual benefit and win-win cooperation. Your Excellencies, climate change has become a real threat to our very existence. There are justified worries over the humanitarian impacts of the strongest El Nino on record, which is increasing the threat of hunger and disease in several parts of our continent. Drought and flood conditions threaten the livelihoods of around 30 million people. It is in this context that we welcome the comprehensive climate agreement that was reached in Paris, France. Although Africa did not get everything it wanted, we need to commend the Africa Group and the G20, the G77 and China for very ably representing us throughout the conference under very difficult circumstances. The inclusion in the agreement of the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities is a positive outcome. Your Excellencies, to improve the way we conduct our business in the African Union, beginning last June, we resolved to begin our summits, as we have done today, in closed session, with an agenda limited to strategic issues of integration, peace and security, governance, and the financing of our union. This should allow us to deal with issues in a more focused and robust manner. We also strongly believe that a well-resourced, appropriately trained, and highly motivated commission will help us deliver better and faster. We need to have a commission that is lean, effective, and efficient. As we proceed with the restructuring, we must uphold the cardinal principle of equitable geographical distribution of the Commission posts, without compromising, of course, on quality. This ensures that the Union belongs to all of us. Your Excellencies, with regard to the need to adhere to common African positions, it would be remiss of me not to mention disturbing dissonance among member states on the unresolved decolonization of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. Under no circumstances should the unjustifiable colonization of a legitimate and full member of the Union be condoned. Allowing history to be rewritten in order to justify the blatant occupation and colonization of a sister country goes contrary to the decolonization ethos of our founding fathers. Our saying, we are 14, deriving from colonies, but of course we still have Sahrawi. Sahrawi is a debt we owe to the people of Sahrawi. When shall we pay that debt? When shall we decide that the people of Sahrawi become independent? Our charter says the colonial boundaries that we found in 1963 shall be the boundaries we respect. We are all free. Let the people of Sahrawi also be free. With regard to the need to adhere, allowing history to be rewritten in order to justify the blatant occupation and colonization of a sister country, as I said, is what is happening in regard to the Palestinians. And we should also call upon our cooperating partners, especially those with whom we have standing partnerships, to respect our AU, African Union position on Sahrawi Republic within the context of our partnership frameworks. Similarly, I wish to express my disquiet over the developments leading to the EU summit on migration that was held in Valletta, Malta. Allow me to recall that we had reached an understanding with our friends in Europe. I stammer to say friends, but nevertheless, I managed to pronounce the words. Friends in Europe, that we would have a summit to address the issue of migration, which is of common concern to all of us. Alas, at the last minute, we had only a few of us from Africa would be invited. While I fully appreciate that we are affected differently by migration, there is need for a collective approach for the common good of all of us. Let the common interests of Africa unite us, please. Unite us on this and other global issues as well. For, as that song by that group of singers rang, united we stand, divided we fall. So on this one we were divided. Let's not be divided. The principles of unity, solidarity, and freedom bequeathed to us by our forebears from the bedrock of organization, those principles must continue to be our principles. We wouldn't be here if 1963 had not occurred. And I can tell you, even as we as freedom fighters then sought assistance in the South. It was not just in the South. I remember about 1978-79, moving to Guinea-Conakry, to Senegal, before getting to the OAU, just pleading for assistance, humanitarian, if it could be given us, assistance, military, of a military nature, if we could get it. And we were getting it here and there, those who could give. Algeria, training. Egypt, of NASA, lots of training. And as 1963, the inaugural conference took place, the leaders came from all these countries. Ben Bella had won his struggle, the Algerian struggle of France. France had, after all the other Francophone countries had got their independence, Algeria was denied that independence by de Gaulle. Why? Because Algeria, he said, is part of France. Algeria, part of France. Algeria, part of France. Mediterranean Sea, yes, he said, Algeria cannot choose as others chose to say yes or no. No choice was given it because it was regarded as part of France. That's why the Algerians took to arms. And that's why Ben Bella could come. And we sang glory to him. And of course, he regarded that the independence of Algeria was not complete until the independence of all the other countries, including South Africa, was also acquired, until those other countries were also free. And Ben Bella, we still remember what he said. He put aside his speech. He said, "Let us die a little for South Africa. Let us die a little for South Africa." And we used to call it in our camps the die a little speech. The contribution made. So the Arua, Groma, Ghana is not free until the rest of Africa is free. That spirit and those principles, unity, dedication, commitment, sacrifice, the givenness, that struggle is our struggle, should remain with us. That suffering of people in Liberia is our suffering. We should have said that. The people dying because of Boko Haram in Nigeria are our people as well. And I tell you, we knew Nigeria as we knew our palms, because we used to go there. We used to have lots of cadres trained there in Kano. We used to go to Kaduna, lots of other places. And Nigeria gave, in 1978, I think, 78, yes, when they had not been paying their subscriptions because they were